Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Foundations.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might.
Foundations. Understanding the Jewish foundations of our Christian faith. With Robbo Robinson and Mandy Warby.
A new week of Foundations, and a reminder that you can get the notes from all these studies online at vision.org.au/foundations. There's a whole lot more in the notes than what we're bringing to you on this program. So check that out, vision.org.au/foundations. Now, Mandy, this week we're going to be exploring the Shema. Now, I hope I said that right, because it is obviously a Hebrew word. Yeah. But what exactly is Shema?
Shema is... it's not necessarily a statement of belief, but it is a principle or a guideline or a what would you say, a template for living, or and it's also a command. I'm gonna attempt a little Hebrew here. All right, just so that I can give you Shema, because this is an amazing piece of scripture that Jewish people are taught from the cradle. And it goes like this: Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. And that means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might.
Okay, well, I've heard that before. I just haven't heard the Hebrew version.
You haven't heard the other bit before. But most people are unaware that it comes straight out of the Old Covenant scriptures. Whereas they think it was something that Jesus said that was brand new when he was asked. But I want to tell you a little bit of a story. Going back to 1945, there was a rabbi named Eliezer Silver, and he headed up a search for displaced Jewish children all across Europe who'd been hidden from the Nazis on farms, in convents, in monasteries, and he desperately wanted to return them to their families if their families had survived the Holocaust. And there was a particular monastery in the south of France that had taken in Jewish children. But when the priest was asked which of the children were Jewish, he had no idea, because they had no records with them, and the children's names had been changed, and they were all so young they couldn't say, and their names had been changed, or they had names that could have just been normal names, okay, not just necessarily Jewish names. And so they had no idea or clue how they could determine which of these children were Jewish. So what he did was he sat in a room where all the children, all the small children, were all sitting there playing and doing their thing, and he started to sing the Shema.
Oh, right.
And all of a sudden, these little children, all the little Jewish children, their little heads popped up and they started looking up, and they could actually started to sing along.
Wow. Because
they had been taught Shema from the cradle.
Wow.
And so this is something that's ingrained within the Jewish psyche. Again, from the time that they're born, they are taught Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God, the Lord is one. And you're to love him with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. But the word here is something I really wanted to sort of unpack over today and in the next program as well. If anybody's interested, you can actually look up Shema. It's in Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 to 6. And I don't know if you were aware of this, Robbo, but most Jewish homes have a little box a little rectangular box on their doorpost, and it's called a mezuzah. And in that is a little piece of parchment or scroll, and it has on it 3 passages of scripture. Shema from Deuteronomy. It also has a passage from Deuteronomy chapter 11 and a passage from Numbers 15. And that's all on this little scroll, because God told them, put my word on the doorposts and lintels of your house.
They've
done it literally. It's a very literal, it's a very practical faith, is Judaism. And so if you wanted to look those up, you could, and it'll be in the notes as well. Okay, so what's really interesting is that one of the scribes if you read in Mark chapter 12, verse 28 and 31, one of the scribes heard that Jesus was having some we call it arguments, and with some of the religious leaders, and he thought, this guy is doing okay. And so he comes and says, what is the greatest commandment? And that's when he says, Shema. And then he says, and this the second is like it, that you will love the Lord, that you will love your neighbour as yourself. Yeah. Again, that's also Old Covenant scripture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, but the word here is not necessarily just talking about hearing something audible. The word here in the Old Covenant scriptures is, like we were just saying about the mezuzah, it's very practical, it's very literal. And so it's more about being obedient. I mean, you have children. Mm-hmm. I have children. And you will know, well, you probably will know, I'm assuming you know, that you could say to your children, I want you to clean your room. Yep. I want you to go and do the dishes. I want you to, whatever their task is. And they can hear you. You know that they can hear you, but they suddenly get this selective deafness.
Mandy,
and they
I have
you.
Teenagers, so that's just commonplace. They go, yep, and then nothing happens. Yep. It's like, did you hear me? You haven't done it.
They can hear your words audibly, but they're not obeying your words.
Mm.
There's the... somebody once said, when you're dealing with these, rebellious teens or school students and everything, you say, how do you get people to obey? How do you explain obedience? And a Jewish person said, Shema.
Mm.
Because the word here is not about just the biological actions of your ear to hear something. Yeah. It's about obedience.
Mm.
I mean, God said he got so frustrated with his people. They had this outward appearance of being these holy people. He said to obey is better than sacrifice. Don't bring me your sacrifices if you're going to go out and disobey everything I tell you.
Yeah.
That's Shema. So it's really important to understand that when God is talking to us, it's about action. Now, this kind of comes into the difference between a Hebrew mindset and a Greek mindset. A Greek mindset, which is pretty much the dominant methodology of education in the Western world, that basically says you have a room full of students, you audibly give them lots and lots of information, they can retain that information, but when they walk out, they don't necessarily have any practical skills on how to do something.
Yeah.
I once remember a friend who was interviewing somebody to come and do desktop publishing in their place of business. And they were asked, can you use this particular software? And this person had a string of degrees from university. And they said, oh, well, I'm sure I could learn them. They said, what have you been doing in university? It was all just knowledge.
Yeah, theory.
It was all theory, nothing practical. Whereas the Hebrew mindset is discipleship. Watch me, copy. Watch me, copy. Watch me and copy. Do what I do as I do it. That's how we're supposed to imitate Christ.
Yeah.
To see what he did and then do it. So it's about doing. So hearing is about obedience. We're going to look at this a little bit more tomorrow as well. But when you look at the Shema, again, we break down Shema and look at it more closely, it's wonderful. Shema, hear, Israel, Adonai, the Lord, Eloheinu, our God, Adonai, the Lord, Echad, one or alone. And in a couple of days, we're going to look at that word one as well. There's some surprising things in there as well. But, it's about taking heed. It's about being obedient. It's about hearing what he said and actually doing it.
Well, in the next program, we'll continue learning about Shema and what the word hear actually means. And a reminder that you can get these notes off the website, vision.org.au/foundations.
This has been Foundations, a look at the Jewish foundations of our Christian faith. For study notes, resources and more, see vision.org.au/foundations.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.